The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and the guests, and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated individuals, organizations, or sponsors. The content is provided for entertainment and informational purposes only, and should not be taken as professional advice. While we strive for accuracy, we make no representation or warranties about the completeness, reliability, or accuracy of the information discussed. Listeners are encouraged to verify facts and form their own opinions. The host and producers are not responsible for any errors, omissions, or outcomes related to the use of this content.
212. What's up? What's up?
Now all the rappers wanna do podcast.
Ran it back 3 times in a row.
I got something for y'all. Now all the rappers wanna do podcast.
Now, like, X-Lax. Like, for real, dog. You tripping. Stop hating on the black women. Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's yet another version, another part of the Doja podcast 166. The episode that just won't go away. Episode that just won't go away. Doja podcast 166. It's like our 7th entry of this episode. I'm just collecting topics at this point. Make sure that you lock in with us, man. Lock in, twin. Make sure that you follow us on all platforms. Dozha Told on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Dozha Told Radio on the Mitzla app. Yes, we still do broadcast on the Mitzla app. I haven't done a audio. We haven't done a radio broadcast in quite some time. That's when we play music. But we just stay tuned. It's December, so it's wild card this fourth quarter, but we're trying to stay busy, and we got a lot of things to talk about, and things just keep happening every day. So bear with me. But make sure if you would like to contribute, hit us up on the Cash App, Dozha Told Radio. It's been a long year, 2025. You know, you can give 25 cents or $25. Hey. Whatever you would like to do. We're probably going to be trying to take our efforts back to Patreon pretty soon. And I might even, start doing shorter episodes. Just concentrating on segments here in the future. But in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get this thing started the right way. Y'all know how we do, man. With a little intro video. What we got this week for the intro video, man? We talking about deconstructing capitalist myths. Slavery never actually ended. Now did it? Let's talk about it.
Let's deconstruct the cultural hegemony of the ruling class and talk about some of these myths that uphold the power of the ultra wealthy. So, rich people create jobs. So, we should all be grateful to rich people.
Rich people don't create jobs. Rich people, i.e. wealthy people, own all the stuff that we need to survive, because over several hundred years, they have enclosed all of the resources that we need to survive. And then they use that power over everyone else's survival to force people to work for them for less than what they deserve. And the only option you have is work or die, basically. The way that we got to that point was through basically dispossession.
You want to just briefly touch on the history of enclosure? I mean, that's a big one.
This is what Marx and Marxists call primitive accumulation. It's a very important understanding of the way that capitalism developed, right? Because the liberal story of how capitalism developed was that we were all, in our little huts, and one person decided that they would start making shoes, and another one decided they were going to start building boats, and they wanted to trade with each other, but there weren't any markets. So thankfully, we all figured out how to trade with one another, and then we created capitalism.
It sounds funny when you...
I know, it's absurd, right? It's just... That's what they teach you in Economics 101. The central thing that makes capitalism is not markets, it's capital. And what is capital? It's basically your control over the means of production. So the stuff we need to produce everything. That was land initially. And the enclosures were a process whereby previously common land that was used to kind of graze cattle amongst villages and was kind of held collectively was enclosed into private patches. And it meant that people who had previously relied upon subsistence to be able to survive were no longer able to rely on subsistence to be able to survive. At the same time, you had the rise of industrialization. So you had big industrialists who needed workers, but workers were not willing to leave their places where, life was extremely hard, but like they were rooted in their communities, and they weren't willing to kind of give all that up to go and work for an extremely meager wage and also a highly significant chance of like death or injury. So what happened was they were forced off the land. The whole idea of primitive accumulation, of enclosure, was to create a landless class of peasants who had no choice other than to sell their labor power in order to survive. And you see this process continuing all around the world today. When they tie your healthcare to your job, or when it becomes impossible to buy a house without an extremely large salary, when it becomes even impossible to rent without an extremely large salary, you end up in this position where you are faced with this choice of work or die, work or be out on the streets. And that isn't a process that's happened naturally. It is a process that has been guided and directed by people who wanted to exploit human labor and use it to augment their profits.
Oh, she broke it down on y'all with that one, man. She broke it down. Shout out to The Better Future by Michael Mez and the young lady that did post this this magnificent clip on capitalism and its myths. I think that a lot of these isms, whether it's Marxism, socialism, capitalism, a lot of the isms could use a good reevaluation. It could be reevaluated how we structure our society. I don't think that it should be a socialist society where the government is in control of everything, but this free trade capitalist society is very one-sided. And while a lot of people feel like it's a success because there are many people that became rich, became millionaires, you know, and a few of them became billionaires, it still holes in that in that capitalist society structure, and we need some fixing. We need some fixing in our society structure, and whether or not we get there by revolution or by evolution, I think that we're heading to a big change really soon. So with that being said, there was a lot of things. There was a lot of things that we didn't get a chance to talk about that were really headlined right after at the end of November, and we're well into December now. So I figure, hey man, I still want to talk about some of them stuff. Like I didn't really discuss Nicki Minaj's address to the UN. We glazed over Marjorie Taylor Greene. We glazed over the economy. I said that this particular episode that we were going to get involved with more. Unfortunately, there's a lot of anti-Semitic tropes that have been going on around the internet that we'll probably have to, learn about and address and react to. But for right now, let's start off with some silly stuff and some cute silly stuff, man. Like Mr. Beast and his BeastLand out there in Saudi Arabia. Them folks getting a lot of money out there in Saudi Arabia, man. The Saudis and the whites alike. They getting a lot of money out there, man. Mr. Beast, social media YouTube star, Mr. Beast, got extremely popular doing reactions and doing different YouTube videos and social experiments on his channel. And now he's a millionaire 100th time over, and he just does social experiments, and this latest social experiment has turned into his own personal Disneyland called BeastLand. But it's all the way out there in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you all for coming out.
So yeah, man, There's something about that Mr. Beast, man. He means well. He means very well. He's a very philanthropic content creator, but it's just something about him. Something about him is that's this. I ain't gonna say. I don't want to say the wrong word, so I'm just say interesting. Something about him that's a little more than interesting. Anyway, the Mr. BeastLand theme park has officially opened in Saudi Arabia. General admission is $7. Beast mode, which is $25, it challenges. You get challenges in 3 rides, and for $66, you get the full access. I don't really know anybody that's been out there. I don't know if I'll ever go to Saudi Arabia.
Today we're at BeastLand by Mr. Beast here in Riyadh, and it's opening day. So come with us and check out what there is to do inside. Let's go.
All right, let's check it out.
We're now inside BeastLand and it looks absolutely incredible. And we've noticed that there is a countdown over here for some reason. So they're saying get to the stage. We need to go. We need to find out what's going on.
You know, you got the wristband, and when you play the games.
The barriers are open and we're following everyone. I don't know where to, but somewhere. So there's all the money. I can't remember what the top prize was, but there's about 300,000 riyals in one of these. So we headed through to the Beast Arena and there was so many different games that you could take part in. This one I was definitely not giving a go, the bungee jumping, but it was so much fun and you can buy a wristband with all the games included. Or if you simply just want to enter and enjoy BeastLand in the whole experience, then it's only 25 SAR per person. They had so many merch shops around with all of the Feastables and limited edition merch, which was actually very affordable. As well as all the games that are inside Beast Arena, which are inspired by the show, there was also carnival games, rides, and so many food stalls. It was so much fun, and just being here was such a good vibe. I definitely recommend checking it out before it ends in 45 days.
Oh, so it's not a permanent thing. I think they just trying stuff out like Mr. Beast usually does. But it looks like a quite interesting place. I like the fact that he incorporated the challenges that he had on his YouTube channel. And it seems that it is pushing the boundaries on mixing fun with tech and education and just perseverance, man. Mr. Beast is the epitome of just persistence and perseverance and never giving up. And I hope to, one day have a great channel just like Mr. Beast, and maybe have my own DOZHALAND one day, right? You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Mr. Beast, man. And yeah, I wonder if he's gonna bring it out to the States. If he do, he's probably gonna have it all the way up north somewhere. But they definitely got to test out them. Definitely would like to see them test out those amusement park rides a whole lot more. But shout out to Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. They call him Mr. Beast. Not because of my size. All right, other silly happy-go-lucky news. Eddie Murphy's documentary on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't really been watching any TV lately, but I hear it was good. I hear it's good, and Eddie Murphy on movies he regrets declining. Okay, let's talk about it.
There's a couple of movies. Ghostbusters, I was supposed to do Ghostbusters and didn't do that. And Rush Hour. Didn't do that.
Imagine.
Oh, and Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
That would have been
Those are my
fire.
big three. Wish I would have done movies.
Okay, what is it about those that makes you wish you would have
Well,
been part of
they were huge, giant hits. They were giant hit movies. And then the movie, well, with Beverly Hills, with Ghostbusters, I did Beverly Hills Cop instead. So I was like, it was do this or that. So it worked out cool. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit just sounded ridiculous to me, and I passed on it afterwards. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was great. That's one of my favorite movies. Eddie Murphy and Who Framed Roger Rabbit would have been great. I don't know about Eddie Murphy and Ghostbusters. That would have been a waste. Shout out to Ernie Hudson for getting that role. But yeah, Rush Hour, Jackie Chan and Eddie Murphy. That would have been hilarious. But I think that I would like to see, well, we got Beverly Hills Cop, but I wouldn't mind to see more action comedies with Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying? Even though in Beverly Hills Cop, I the whole time I was like, ain't he like 60? I was just saying to myself, like, why is he doing this? Why is Axel Foley still solving crimes at 60 years old? Like, what's going on? But yeah, I am. I gotta tap into this Eddie Murphy documentary on Netflix, man, because he's one of the GOATs, man. GOAT comedian, GOAT movie star. I've once had a debate when someone was trying to debate me that Eddie Murphy or Kevin Hart, who was the bigger movie star, and it's really no candle. It's no contest. Eddie Murphy is on another stratosphere when it comes to being a movie star and being recognized in box office. Box office boss. He's the box office smash for years and years, and stand up comedy. He's still very, very funny naturally. Eddie is just naturally funny.
Chocolate. Now, see, how you gonna ask me that I put the pill in the chocolate when you know that I put the pill in the chocolate? God damn, this your place? I be damn. I put the pill in my motherfucking mouth. Motherfuck the chocolate. It's Paul Mooney, homie. Paul Mooney, Richard Pryor, and Bill Cosby. This nigga has lost his mind. That's what Mooney would say. In the documentary, he broke out 3 nigga puppets, homie. Nigga, I spun around in my grave, homie. Like Bill Cosby is, shooting game. Aren't you like trying to talk to me? Don't go by what you've heard. I'm capable of tenderness and kindness to you. I'm going to show you my Jello pudding pop. I'm going to show you my Jello pudding pop. What do you say to your mother when she gives you a bowl of Jello pudding? I don't give a fuck. Because you see, I didn't put the pill in people's chocolate. You know you put that pill in the chocolate, man.
Yeah, man. Eddie Murphy, man. We definitely appreciate that six-pack Papa. Six-pack Papa on TikTok, man. But yeah, we gotta tap in on that Eddie Murphy documentary. Everybody has been talking about the Diddy documentary. We will be talking about that on the very next episode of this podcast. So if you're here to talk about Diddy, go to the next episode. Just look for the next set of clips. We still got some catching up to do. We still got some catching up to do. So I'm going to be, for what it's worth, I'm going to be admitting some things I was wrong about Diddy. And I'm also going to be setting the record straight for some things that I just have to feel like I have to get straight and stand up for. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead and get straight off into some of these politics. We might as well start off with all right, we're just going to play a little bit of Nicki Minaj up at the UN, man. What the hell was Nicki Minaj doing at the UN? We really didn't give a fuck, for real.
For this invitation.
Nobody really talked about it. I didn't talk about it too much.
And the other distinguished speakers here today.
She looked good.
Spotlight on the deadly threat faced by thousands of Christians in Nigeria. I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage in calling for urgent action to defend Christians in Nigeria, to combat extremism, and to bring a stop to violence against those who simply want to exercise their natural right to freedom of religion or belief. I stand here as a proud New Yorker with a deep sense of gratitude that we live in a country where we can freely and safely worship God regardless of one's creed, background, or politics. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion, like I recently stated on social media. And we don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. We're way beyond thinking or expecting or assuming for, the person sitting next to you to have the exact same beliefs. We're beyond that. That's ridiculous. But that shouldn't make one person feel less safe than anyone in any room. Music has taken me around the globe. I have seen how people, no matter their language, culture, or religion, come alive when they hear a song that touches their soul. Religious freedom means we all can sing our faith regardless of who we are, where we live, and what we believe. But today, faith is under attack in way too many places. In Nigeria, Christians are being targeted, driven from their homes, and killed. Churches have been burned. Families have been torn apart, and entire communities live in fear constantly, simply because of how they pray. Sadly, this problem is not only a growing problem in Nigeria, but also in so many other countries across the world, and it demands urgent action.
All right, I can't take it anymore. Even though this is a very noble act by the Trinidadian American New Yorker Nicki Minaj, the greatest rap female of all time. Very noble of you. But there are a lot of things that are happening in the country that you call your home. There's many things that the country that you call your home is doing to the country that that your parents call home. And I don't want to I'm not here to give Nicki any lectures. I only want to just quickly review what was said about her being involved on the United Nations address, and her lately teaming up on the side of MAGA. I just really felt like it was kind of weird to see her go from attacking Cardi B so viciously to now being the humanitarian of the year. I really just kind of was thrown off from that altogether. But I mean, to each his own. She could, stand up for whatever cause that she likes. But a lot of folks didn't like the fact that she was aligning herself with President Trump for whatever reason. I don't think that aligning yourself in this way should be a negative, should have a negative effect on her reputation, but she kind of went above and beyond glazing for President Trump. And again, a lot of folks are saying that America just wants to get a piece and part of Africa for their resources. There's been plenty of slip-ups. You'll be seeing us talk about the president, kind of on a conquest kind of mission. You got the oil in South America, and you got gold and oil also in Nigeria. So they are making plans, and they really, really are desperate to get their hands on the raw materials that Africa seems to be in abundance of. Also, just to point out there that Burkina Faso and the country Burkina Faso and a lot of other countries, Ghana, Nigeria, and so on and so forth, they're organizing now to try to become a united front, kind of like the United States of Africa. And I'm all for it. I've spoken on the last episode that I really have ambitions to really take this podcast global and really start identifying with our brothers and sisters abroad. I think this is just yet another.
Hello, everyone.
Another angle.
I must say, I am very nervous. So please, well.
Yeah. I mean, she at least was looking good, and she's very, very well spoken, and she definitely took the opportunity seriously. So with that, I really don't have too much hate on what she got going on. Now, I could find somebody that definitely has some hate to say about what Nicki got going on.
Ambassador Mike Waltz here with the amazing queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, and I just can't be more thankful to you.
Okay, at least they know what it is when they get in the presence of a queen.
Ambassador Mike Waltz here with the amazing queen of rap, Nicki Minaj, and I just can't be more thankful to you for putting your spotlight on the persecution, the killing, the devastation that's going on with Christians in Nigeria. The president called it out. Nicki, you've called it out, and then we invited you here to the UN to learn more and to see what we can do to stop this genocide.
Yes, you did, and I am, like I said before many times, I'm honored that you even thought that I would be worthy to be in this caliber of a place. Because, I never thought I would go from rapping to being here, but I'm so happy and proud, and I'm happy that I can speak for Christians, and I will continue to speak for anyone that I feel needs my voice if they are being persecuted. And right now, I'm just wanting to let all of my Nigerian barbs, even if they live in the U.S., I want to let you guys know I love you, and thank you for your stories that made me understand more what was going on. And I will continue lending my voice. I hope to see more of you guys lending your voices to it. Let's do the right thing like we've always done. And Ambassador, again, thank you so much. And to, again, President Trump and his entire administration. And to Alex, I just want to thank you guys for being amazing to me and supporting me and helping me, to understand what's going on out there. And I'll continue to learn. I love to learn. And yeah, that's it.
Well, as President Trump has said, this is not about politics. This is about doing what is.
It's about politics.
This is a moral duty, and you have given your voice to the voiceless, and God bless you for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's see if they keep it up. I ain't got too much to say. I just want to say I just want to see if they keep it up. Nicki is very capable of doing great things. The thing about it is I don't know if I have anybody that had any criticism about Nicki Minaj UN speech. Okay, this may be.
I have a question for Nicki Minaj. How dare you? How dare you speak of Nigerian suffering only in the context of Christians? How freaking dare you qualify your support of Nigerians on the condition that they are Christians? How bloody dare you not do your homework on what is actually going on in Nigeria before spreading misleading information on an international platform like the United Nations? How dare you? I want to give Nicki Minaj grace that she heard what was happening online. She was absolutely horrified by it, heard him refer to it as a religious war against Christians, and immediately wanted to say something, make a statement, especially to her Barbies, that we must call for the end of the persecution and killings of Christians in Nigeria without doing any information gathering, verification, or any assessment on how her voice would be used to perpetuate and push the false narrative of this fool and end up doing more damage than good. I really want to give her the benefit of the doubt because, you see, when celebrities choose to use their voice, when they do, it is not too much to ask that they don't come across as uneducated, ignorant, and quite frankly, self-aggrandizing on the pain and suffering of a persecuted people. It really isn't too much to ask. If Nicki Minaj and these celebrities parroting Trump's false narrative had done their homework, then they would know that it's a genocide of Nigerians, Christians, Muslims, traditionalists, atheists, that it is impacting Nigerians regardless of their faiths, that it is gender violence disproportionately impacting women and girls, all of whom are Christians and Muslims, that it is ethnic violence impacting Nigerians of different ethnicities, and which has led to 2.7 million Nigerians being internally displaced in Nigeria, with hundreds of thousands seeking refuge in neighboring countries. If they had done their freaking homework. If they'd done their homework, they would know that UNICEF has found that 10.5 million Nigerian children are not in school, primarily because their parents are afraid that their kids will be abducted by terrorists. And who are these terrorists? Well, I have news for you. Terrorism in Nigeria is not framed or monopolized by Islamic terrorist groups alone, but also by Christian terrorist groups. So IPOB in the southeast is predominantly Christian, and they're killing and kidnapping Nigerian civilians, Christians and Muslims alike. In the north, Boko Haram, ISWAP are predominantly Muslim, and they're killing and kidnapping Nigerian civilians, Christians and Muslims alike. And that tells you that what is happening in Nigeria is not just a genocide of Christians and Muslims, but a genocide of Nigerian humanity. And if you cannot speak with the same compassion and demand for action to end the persecution, suffering, killing, and displacement of Nigerian Muslims, Christians of every ethnicity and every gender, then please, I say this with every disrespect, shut the hell up. To add insult to injury, Nicki Minaj thanks Trump in a UN speech. Let the Nigerian enemy speak, because I cannot give grace for this. You are thanking Trump for what? Explain it to me. Because you see, this level of willful ignorance and active complicity of Black Americans like Nicki Minaj in the dehumanization of Black people by white America should be criminal. How, as a Black American, do you not see that Trump's position on Nigeria is imperialism, disguising resource control and population control as humanitarian outreach and white saviorship? How, as a Black American, can you possibly thank the man, the white man who is at the helm of wiping off Black American history? What do you think he's going to do in Nigeria? How can you possibly think to thank this man who spent all of his presidency arming Israel to commit the genocide of Palestinians without distinction of Palestinian Christians from Palestinian Muslims? What do you think he's going to do in Nigeria? Please, somebody, make this make sense.
All right. And she got down to the bottom of it. Yeah. Dr. Shalamos Shagbamimu. Okay. I'm sorry to butcher your name, ma'am. I really enjoyed that clip. I hope you guys did as well. We don't really want to attack Nicki or nothing like that, but sometimes you just got to be a little more educated before you decide to, prance and dance for the MAGAs. You know what I'm saying? She was looking good out there, though.
And that's why we need to make America great again.
MAGA Minaj. Yep. That's right. Nicki Minaj is MAGA. Who would have thought? It's a nice it's a nice nothing nice about it. I was gonna say it's a nice color on her, but nah. I'll pass. Hey man, Nicki, it's all right, baby. It's all right. I know that album dropping in March or something like that, and hey, it's all right, baby. You just do what you got to do to stay relevant. Hey. So keep this thing moving, man. Let's see what kind of clip I got for y'all real quick, man. There's a lot of stuff that was going on around Thanksgiving time. get y'all acquainted with Nick Fuentes in a second, but let's talk about.
Look, if you want to make the big beautiful boycott actually hit.
No, we did talk about the big beautiful boycott. Black Friday is done, so we ain't gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. These Epstein files, man. When are we ever gonna really get the Epstein files? Like, what's going on with that? Y'all think we really gonna see anything? Y'all remember when they went through all this and it was actually, this whole administration has been a real shit show. It's just been like a reality TV show. They've just been doing performative things. Performative politics is now a thing. And in the social media land of politics, you have to come up with all kinds of gimmicks and ploys to keep people's attention, I guess. I don't know what the hell these folks doing out here. But they said they was going to release the Epstein files. It's been about a couple of weeks now, and we really haven't heard anything. I'm not really expecting much from the releasing of the Epstein files, but it would be nice to finally get past it. Finally expose all those that needed to be exposed, and then just move forward. Get them nasties up out of here if that's what we're going to do, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think them folks really they're not going to really police themselves, especially if them folks is rich. They damn sure ain't going to do nothing. All this stuff was just publicity stunts and excuses to take pictures. So we still waiting on the Epstein files, man. I don't know what to expect. We'll see where we get them. This was pictures that were taken at the beginning of the year when it was like, oh, we got them. Phase 1 of the Epstein files. We're going to unroll it. They did nothing of this. No such thing. Nothing of the sort. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, what other clip do I got, man, in the tuck, man? All right. Here's a lie about the absent black father was built, not born.
Here's the lie about how the absent black father was built, not born. When slavery ended, white lawmakers needed a new way to control black people, so they created black codes. These laws turned everyday life for freedmen into a crime. No job, vagrancy, jail, standing on the corner, loitering, jail, traveling without papers, suspicious, jail. Once locked up, men were torn from their families and forced into labor. It was slavery rebranded, profitable for the state and devastating for the home. As black families began to rebuild, the welfare system twisted fatherlessness into a weapon. If a man lived in the house, women could lose their benefits. So fathers weren't leaving by choice, they were being pushed out by policy. Then came the 1980s war on drugs, harsh sentencing, mass incarceration, and an explosion of broken homes. The media piled on, selling America the deadbeat dad stereotype. But here's the truth. This wasn't born in our neighborhoods. It was engineered in courtrooms and legislated into existence.
Absolutely.
Was it the people or was it the policy? Hit follow for more black history hidden below the surface.
Shout out to Commonwealth Uncensored on TikTok. That's a great video. I really enjoyed that because I don't like that narrative. I think that narrative is engineered, that black fathers not being around is, the cause of this or that. I mean, that is something that can absolutely be true. And black fathers don't want to be around is the real question. The real statement that I disagree with. Because I was raised by my dad, and most of my friends are raising their kids. Most of my men friends with kids, I may only have a friend or two that may not have raised all of his kids for whatever reason, and some of them may have gotten it wrong on the first time, or with one baby mama, but they do what they can with the rest of their kids, with the baby mamas that they like, I guess. But I just don't agree with that narrative. You know what I'm saying? That black dads don't want to be in the home. In fact, last time I checked, black fathers were more involved with their kids' life than white fathers. But that's neither here nor there. I am here to make it racial, but we just gonna keep on rolling. Yeah. Let's keep the pressure up on the president. Let's keep the pressure up on the president.
United States is the president of the United States is a pedophile, and the DOJ has known for over a decade, and throughout Democrat and Republican administrations, they ain't said nothing. Why? Because it would implicate the other pedophiles in the government in both political parties. Our government is being ran by pedophiles and pedophile sympathizers, and I feel like no one's mad enough. The president of the United States is a pedophile, and the DOJ has known for over a decade.
And she is quite upset. I mean, as she should be. If this is absolutely true, then, you know, there should be a lot more people that are outraged. But as we've seen with the January 6th debacle, them folks ain't gonna do nothing to each other. I don't even, you know, and a lot of us ain't really even finna get ourselves worked up about what the president did when he was partying as a bachelor billionaire back in his day. And basically most of the people voting, you know, were born in the 80s and 70s, and back then they was marrying off they young daughters and stuff like that at a young age. Like, so it really just I just leave it alone. But they really just start being totally inappropriate to date underage people, like in the 70s or 60s. Like, you know what I'm saying, you know, it was just still stuff that people was doing like in the 80s, man. And so them folks ain't gonna police they people about that, even though it is creepy, even though it is fucked up. I think that the president may have not been a pedophile per se. I'm not gonna go out and say that, so don't come for me, Trump. But I think that there are money streams. I think that there are money streams that come from trafficking. And I think that they can trace the paper trail of such trafficking when it comes to a lot of these billionaires. And I think that is a lot more damaging. That may be revealed pretty soon. We got Ice in Charlotte. I don't know what that live your truth mean. Probably when the president got called out for they say that he was blowing Bubba. They're trying to say that what does Monica Lewinsky and Donald Trump got in common? Say they both was blowing Bubba. Yeah. Call her Donica Lewinsky. I tried to hit my bad joke button, but I guess I didn't have it ready. What? We don't have no bad jokes today? Man, fudge it. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. I fixed it, but they say that Donald Trump was blowing Bubba. I don't know really what that really means. Like, I don't think that Donald Trump would do a thing like that. As much as these Republicans don't like gay folks, I just can't see the the president blowing Bubba. But in leaked emails, Jeffrey Epstein's brother sent back in 2018, he was asking to hit up Steve Bannon about whether Putin, yes, President Putin, the Russian president, had dirt on Trump, like the photos of him blowing Bubba. And everybody knows that William Clinton, a.k.a. Bill Clinton, a.k.a. Bubba, but they say there's other Bubbas in the in politics that it could possibly be. So, you know, they are already trying to go back on, you know what I'm saying, you letting us know who Bubba really was. Who is Bubba? And did the president really blow him? Anyway, man, I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. But yeah, let's see what the hell going on. Is this a video? Let's see.
Slop on my knob, like corn on the cob.
Oh no. Oh no. They're gonna get us. So, you know, they say that this is a real picture where it almost looks like the president was, you know, reaching for the stars or reaching for the log or whatever you want to call it. He was reaching for Bubba's, plaything. Yeah, that would be kind of wild though. If our current president once jacked off our ex-president, yeah, that would be quite insane. But I don't really believe it, man. But we had fun. We had fun laughing at it over the holiday season. Over Thanksgiving turkey, we were, you know, laughing about good old Trump blowing Bubba. Not my family, but maybe your family was. You know. Anyway, let's just move right along, man. Whether or not the president was blowing Bubba, Donica Lewinsky. The scandals just keep on coming with this administration. But yeah, man, they basically saying the gig is up, man. We're still waiting. Any day now, we shall be getting, I guess, some shocking truths when it comes to the Epstein files. I want to say special thanks to Republicans that stood on the right side of the truth, like Thomas Massey of Kentucky, who doesn't take any AIPAC money. He's not a politician that you can buy. That's for sure. But shout out to Thomas Massey. We gave Marjorie Taylor Greene her flowers before she resigned and cashed in on that pension money. You know, it is what it is. But let's hear from Thomas Massey about the struggles and complications that it came with requesting and being on a crusade to expose those who ran with old Jeffrey Epstein.
Here, people say, "Well, why isn't it easy to come out as a victim?" And when I was at this press conference with these women, the depth of the evil I didn't understand until they spoke it, which was as 14-year-old girls, they were told by a friend at high school, come over to this old guy's house, give him a massage, and you can make $200. By the way, he's got a nice swimming pool and all this other stuff. All you got to do is give him a massage. The massage turned into something else completely, and he had their phone number, and then through the shame of it, he compelled them to show up at his beck and call whenever he wanted. And this is where it gets really evil. The only way they could get out of it, of showing up and performing sexual favors for Jeffrey Epstein, was if they found another girl at their high school who would do it in their place. And so they were coerced into, and one of the witnesses, survivors, broke down in tears because she admitted, she just said, listen, I was faced with finding a girl for him to take my place or going back there and doing that. And I found another girl. And so what happens is now, people are still doing this, even after they know these are 15-year-old girls who were coerced into it by an adult man. They're saying, oh, you were a sex trafficker. You trafficked these women. But they don't, I didn't really fully grasp how evil this is. Like, it's one thing to do evil things to people, but to make them do evil things. And then once he causes you to be implicated, then you don't want to come out, because then that's what happens to you. Now, there are people asking, well, why don't these women release the names? And the reason is these are billionaires like that. So what happened is Epstein, once they got to the age of consent, they weren't exciting to him anymore. And he would traffic them to his friends. Now, so you might, at this point, they're going to say, oh, well, there were prostitutes. They were 18. They were age of consent. Jeffrey Epstein was giving them something. And then they did, sexual things with these men. And so what happens is those men who have billions of dollars, they had money to pay off police departments, to lose reports, to pay off judges. What they would typically do is they would, a lot of these girls were from families that weren't very affluent. The family would end up with $150,000 up to $500,000 of money, and the girl wouldn't testify. So basically, that's one of the things they would do. But now they would just sue them into poverty for defamation. And if you don't have the power that the government has to discover these facts, then you can't contest the defamation case well enough. And the process is the punishment. They basically go broke just trying to hold up their name.
All right. That is a very, very, very unfortunate circumstance that a lot of them ladies had to be put into, because they basically became the predator that preyed on them. And that is very, very disheartening. And we just hope that the right people get exposed and we get to the bottom of this and we can move forward and start governing the country after we drain the swamp, or whatever they want to call getting the nasties up out of the politics and up out of our society, and making them pay for the evilness that they've done. Again, bravo to Thomas Massey and all those that are standing up on the right side of truth when it comes to the Epstein files. So, okay. We did that one already. Federal judges blocked Texas from using redrawn congressional maps that would boost GOP in 2026 midterm. That's actually old news at this point, because, at one point the federal judges did block Texas from using its U.S. maps, basically gerrymandering. If you don't know what gerrymandering is, then go look it up, kids. Go look it up. But basically this was a headline that mattered a couple of weeks ago, actually November 18th, or right before Thanksgiving. But since then, actually the Supreme Court have ruled that it's fair game. Gerrymandering, wherever you want to gerrymander, And, even though we know that they are doing this because they want to disenfranchise black voters in Texas, they basically want to take certain zones that have the majority white voters and add those zones to places that have black voters, but it's more zones of white voters so that the vote would count damn near 3 times the amount or 5 times the amount as the black vote in that area. That's what they're doing in Texas. They call it gerrymandering. They've been doing it in Florida for a very long time. In Jacksonville, for instance, in Miami, for instance, there's this very, very vast area of land that, you know, would mostly be controlled by black people if it was zoned a certain way. Or it would have more representation in Congress. So to grab some more Congress seats, Governor Abbott, Texas Governor Abbott, and President Trump had devised a plan to gerrymander Texas. And at first they were saying that they couldn't do it. Federal court had halted them and was like, hey, this is unfair. This is racist. You can't do that. In a 2-1 ruling, a panel of federal judges in El Paso sided with the opponents who argued that Texas' unusual summer redrawing of congressional districts would harm black and Hispanic voters and residents, The decision was authored by U.S. District Judge Jeffrey V. Brown, a Trump nominee from the president's first term. So Trump appointee actually ruled against the gerrymandering the first time around. But again, I will have to update you guys on that information to say that Supreme Court said, hey, nah, it's all good. Y'all could go ahead and do what y'all got to do in Texas, and we ain't even gonna trip. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do y'all thing. Yeah, so
In a 6-3 decision, the court granted a stay on a lower court ruling that had previously blocked the map. In a scathing dissent, Justice Elena Kagan wrote, today's order disserves the millions of Texans whom the district court found were assigned to their new districts based on their race.
This is very problematic. I just want to be very clear that the lower court, they had gone through months of litigation, looking at this determination papers. They called all these folks in, and they made the determination that the map was in fact drawn on race. What the Supreme Court did today is first said, well, we're not making a determination on the merits. We're just saying, like, you can keep the map for now, and we'll continue to chit-chat about this. So that's problematic. But also what they essentially said is that because Texas said, well, we drew it for partisan political reasons, not race, they're using political as the cover over race. And so if this becomes the norm, that means any state in the country, particularly states in the South with a history of discrimination, can claim that they are doing things with their state maps under the guise of partisan and political when they're really using race, and they can get away with it.
The other thing that I find frustrating is essentially, for me, I'm looking at the disintegration of civil rights at the hands of a party and a political philosophy that once existed within that party that elevated those civil rights. When you think about the Republican leaders who stood in the breach to get us the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendments, to fight with Democrats to get the civil rights passages made in the 60s, now dismantling that. And basically saying in no uncertain terms, it's okay to push black and brown people and communities of color into a corner in their representation.
I am just struck by what Simone said and the extent to which Alito really references that in the majority opinion, where he says, yeah, California's map's perfectly legal. To your point, Simone, about him trying to use it as cover and not actually reckoning with the fundamental question about the role that race played in the drawing of these maps.
All right, so there you have it. I had to give you guys an update. That's how long it's been taking me to get these topics out. It's like 1 minute I'll get a hot headline, and we were celebrating the fact that the federal courts halted the gerrymandering of the congressional maps in Texas. And then about a week goes by, and those Republicans and that SCOTUS and that POTUS and that SCOTUS, they sure work hand in hand, don't they? And the Supreme Court does the bidding of the president, and it's not usually like that, but they've been working. They've been working post-Obama to make sure that they won't have nothing standing in their way. So I guess it's the part of the show where we start to get a little more edgy.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dame Dozha. If you're looking to get your interview done or be a guest host on our podcast, hit us up at DOZHATOLDYA.COM. Bump what you heard. Remember who told you? It's Dozha told you.